university, it was 1/3 women and 2/3 men, and that wasn't an issue. Now, men were saying, women dominate the universities. We have over 54% female enrollment, and that wasn't an issue when males dominated the university. But if you go up the ladder and research postgraduate students, we have fewer female students. If you go into PhD level, there are fewer. Overall, faculty members in Hong Kong, in the public universities, 27% female. And we have only 2 female deans in Hong Kong, so they only constitute 4%. 6 female vice presidents or provosts that constitute 18%. So far in the history of Hong Kong universities, we don't have a president or a vice chancellor yet. So we hope, in the near future we may have one, but still it's a long way to go. If we look at the different ranks of female faculty member representation just using CUHK, because it's very difficult to get the data from different universities. They don't provide these statistics. Even at my own university, when I asked our personnel office to provide me with the data, it took them 1 week to calculate the number. They were just counting numbers because they don't keep the statistics. And I said, no, can't you just push the button of your database and you can find out the males and females? No, they don't have the database. So they were counting the numbers by hand. And since I'm the Pro-Vice Chancellor now, I can ask for the data. If I'm not, they probably won't even accede to this request for a long time. So if you can see that on top you have the senior lecturers, those are the teaching level staff, those are on contract basis, not the professorate rank. So they constitute 46%. So when we get to the assistant professors, 37%, associate professor, 32% of women, full professors, it gets down to 16%, and at the A level or the chair professor level, only 12%. So you can see the leaking pipeline there. So it's the invisible women in higher education leadership. We're defined by our absence. They are not in the radar screen of male leaders. So when they appoint department chairs, they appoint the pro-vice chancellors, they don't think of women as a potential candidate. They're usually drawn from the professorate, and the professorial title is about publications. And we have seen a lot of research showing that female faculty members have more difficulty in getting published, and they have less citation. Not necessarily because of the quality of the work, but there are many different reasons. And there are more women faculty in the non-STEM area, in humanities, and these areas are usually considered as lesser scientific standing in universities. So usually they would draw senior leadership from the STEM areas. It is very unusual for me as a psychologist to be appointed as a pro-vice chancellor for research, because in the past they only appointed people in science, in engineering, or in medicine. However, they discovered that it's not too bad to have a psychologist who can bridge between the humanities, social science, and medicine, neuroscience, and engineering, because increasingly we're talking about interdisciplinary research, and we want the intersections between different disciplines. If we look at the life cycle of female scientists, oftentimes there are different points of decision, and they have different difficulty with these decisions. We have more females who are single among our faculty members because they have to consider whether, well, first of all, there's the stereotype. If you have a higher level degree, it is more difficult for women to get married because the men would feel threatened if you have a PhD. In fact, in China, among some PhD students, they were worried if they go for a PhD degree, they have no chance in getting married. So the parents would advise them against it. Then there are issues about childbirth and parenting. And oftentimes the tenure application coincides with the life cycle of childbirth. And if you delay it too long, then they may not have a chance to have children. But increasingly, female colleagues also have to take care of elderly parents because of the aging population. So they have much more family responsibilities than the male colleagues. And if we look at some of the literature on women and research productivity, it's not just in Europe, in Asia, we also find that women have to sacrifice more because of the work-family balance, and this struggle is very significant. Research productivity gender gap, and we find that there are evidence of gender bias and discrimination in the peer review process and in citation. And that's why earlier I raised the issue about the double-edged sword if you have the gender identity of grant applicants. Structural and systemic discrimination practices within the profession. Oftentimes, you'll find that female faculty members are assigned more time in teaching and less time for research. They are also assigned more service responsibilities, serving on committees to help out and giving more time for research for male faculty members. I'm sure you feel very familiar in this environment. In the top picture in 2013, when our university celebrated its 50th anniversary, I was the only female among all the black coats, black jackets among there. I was the first female vice rector appointed to the university in this 50-year history. Well, in 2015, we have improved quite a bit because our president decided that maybe it's not too bad to have female pro-vice chancellor, the vice rector, because I impressed him that being a woman, I was able to do quite a bit, and he was impressed that having a woman may not be that bad. So, because we are now in the position of senior management, we could wield more influence. So, in 2014, after I became the Pro-Vice Chancellor, and because I'm the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Research, I decided to organize a lunch for International Women's Day for female researchers. It is a little bit stretched to find a reason to celebrate International Women's Day. But we invited all the female faculty members to come, and some of the colleagues in the Gender Research Center came prepared because we invited the president to come. I told him, even if you're busy, just come for 10 minutes just to show support to our female faculty members on International Women's Day. He came, and he was bombarded with questions and suggestions from our female faculty members. And one of the outcomes of that was that he agreed to set up a task force on women and family-friendly policies. In fact, I wanted it to include family-friendly policies so that it doesn't get marginalized as another women thing and another Fanny's thing, because then, it doesn't get mainstream. I also insisted that we have 2 Pro-Vice Chancellors, one male and one female, as the co-convener of this task force so that it becomes more mainstreamed. And I won't go into the details of the reference, but basically this task force is to help to identify needs and provide resources and to propose policies, research, facilities and resources to address the needs of female faculty members and those with family responsibilities. Some of the achievements of this task force in the past few years, now we can ask the Personnel Office to compile annual sex disaggregated data to monitor the status of women. We also conducted a survey on faculty members on the needs for mentoring and support with special attention to those of women. We set up a female faculty support network and also facilities for breastfeeding for female colleagues. And we reviewed the promotion and personnel policies on paternity leave and option for tenure deferment due to maternity. And then we also conducted activities to raise awareness of senior management and male colleagues to establish a more gender-sensitive culture and system. So from the survey we conducted within the university, we found that more female staff are taking care of dependent children, more female staff are taking care of elderly family members. In fact, both males and females also noticed that there are biased perception of female staff with children. And then female staff have less policy influence within the department or within the university. So these are very helpful to raise the awareness and for us to address some of the concerns. In the past, we don't have any breastfeeding nursing room for women who want to pump the milk or do breastfeeding. In fact, for some of the junior female staff, they have to hide in the toilet or in the storeroom to do the milk pumping. So we decided that we should make it a policy within the university to provide these facilities. And the Chinese university is a very big campus. It's on the hillside, so if you have to go to, if we don't have enough distribution of these nursing rooms, it takes a long time for them to travel. So we work with all the colleges and the offices to distribute the number of nursing rooms around campus. And then we advertised it, and it has been very welcomed by the female faculty members. But at the same time, we also need to educate the supervisors who would allow the female staff to take the break. And so we make it a policy to have a lactation break policy so that they would be allowed time, 2 times a day, to go to those nursing rooms. And then we reviewed the family-friendly leaves to provide. Of course, compared to European standards, they are nothing. But in Hong Kong, the statutory paternity leave is only 3 days. So our university provided 2 extra days for paternity leave and adoption leave and bereavement leave. And for female faculty members who have been on maternity leave, we provide them an option for the deferral of tenure review. And so 7 female faculty members have been approved for this deferral since 2013. We also set up a women faculty members support network in addition to the mentoring schemes pushed for all faculty members. So on top of mentoring for all faculty members, we paired up senior female faculty members with junior faculty members so that they can talk about work-life balance and time management issues, career development, and understanding the gender culture within the university. So we have 40 full professors, female full professors sign up, and so far we have matched 17 pairs, and this is becoming more well-known and popular. We are also planning training workshops for women potential women leaders. Talking about leading as women, some of the strengths and challenges, developing a good mindset for effective leadership, enhancing leadership skills, becoming more aware of one's strengths and areas for improvement in leadership role, and then providing case studies of successful women leaders in higher education. This workshop will be presented later this year, in addition to a leadership workshop for all potential leaders in the university, because we don't want to just single out women, but we have one for any potential leaders and one specific for women leaders, so that it becomes more, we have less resistance, so people won't ask, why just women? There's a lot of further work for our task force, like raising awareness in supervisors and administrators. Even though we have policies, but the supervisors are not aware of it, they don't follow it. We need to have more flexible workload arrangement for new mothers, childcare activities during school holidays for children, because the mothers have to take care of the children who are out of school. And then we also need to have more relaxed eligibility requirement for maternity leave. We learned from some female faculty members that if they come into the university already pregnant, they're not eligible for maternity leave according to the law. It is, they need to have 40 weeks in employment before they can enjoy that. So we want to make it more flexible. So what can we do as women university leaders? What can we do collectively? And this is exactly what Evora can provide us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fanny.